There is a Y-chromosome lineage carried by more than 80% of Irish men alive today. The same lineage is carried by more than 80% of Basque men at the same time. The two populations are separated by the entire Bay of Biscay, roughly 1,000 kilometers of open ocean. They share no language. They share no recorded historical contact. They share no cultural tradition that connects them. And yet the dominant male lineage in both populations traces back to the same founding population from the same century, moving through the same geographic corridor, depositing the same genetic signature on opposite ends of the same Atlantic coast. That is where this story ends. But to understand how that is possible, you need to start with what that corridor was, who moved through it, and why only one of these populations was actually replaced by the people who built it. The Beaker cultural complex is one of the most studied and most contested phenomena in all of prehistoric archaeology. Archaeologists identified it first by its pottery, a distinctive bell-shaped ceramic vessel found in burials from Portugal to Poland, and spent most of the 20th century arguing about whether its spread reflected the movement of people or simply the movement of ideas. The ancient DNA revolution settled that debate in 2018, when a study in Nature sequenced 400 ancient genomes from across Europe and produced a finding that stopped the field cold. In Bronze Age Britain, around 2,500 years before the Common Era, approximately 90% of the ancestry of the existing Neolithic population was replaced within a few generations by people carrying a specific genetic profile. The replacement was not gradual. It was not partial. It was, by the measure of the genome, close to total. The people who built the megalithic monuments of Neolithic Britain, the builders of the causewayed enclosures, the long barrows, the stone circles in their earliest form, left almost no genetic descendants in the population that replaced them. Their monuments survived. Their Y-chromosome lineages effectively did not. The Beaker people who carried out that replacement did not come from the east. They did not follow the same step corridor that the Indo-European expansions used. They came from Iberia. The oldest and densest concentrations of Beaker material culture in Europe appear in Portugal and the Atlantic facade of Spain. The Beaker package moved north along the Atlantic coast, from Portugal, through Brittany, across the Channel into Britain, then into Ireland. The 2022 Patterson et al. Study in Nature, analyzing over 1,600 ancient genomes, confirmed a distinct Atlantic Bronze Age ancestry component moving along exactly that western coastal corridor, absent from Central Europe at the same period, whose deepest roots trace to the Iberian Atlantic shore. But here is what that origin story requires you to hold in mind, because where the Beaker people came from is the part of this that changes everything about how to read the Irish and Basque comparison. The Beaker people did not originate from some distant, unrelated place that had no connection to the Basques. They originated from populations living in and around Iberia, including populations adjacent to and partially overlapping with the ancestors of the Basques themselves. The Basques were not bystanders to the Beaker expansion. They were geographically at its source. And yet, when the Beaker migration moved north and replaced 90% of British and Irish ancestry, it did not replace the Basques. The population that was the origin point of the replacement event was itself preserved. The people adjacent to the departure point stayed in place. The people at the arrival point, the Irish, were almost entirely replaced. And both populations today carry the same dominant Y-chromosome lineage, R1b, at the same extraordinary frequency as the genetic residue of that asymmetric event. I want to stay with that asymmetry for a moment before I explain how it happened, because the mechanism is the part that genuinely stopped me when I first found it. The women stayed. The men arrived. That asymmetry is measurable in every genome along the Atlantic coast, and it runs in opposite directions in Ireland and the Basque country. When geneticists compare Y-chromosome DNA, the paternal lineage passed only from father to son, with mitochondrial DNA, the maternal lineage passed only from mother to child, they find a consistent pattern across the Atlantic coast. The Y-chromosome shows the Beaker signal clearly. R1b dominates. The male founding population was replaced or dramatically diluted by Beaker men. But the mitochondrial DNA, the female line, tells a different story. In Ireland, a significant layer of pre-Beaker Neolithic female ancestry survived the replacement. The Neolithic women whose husbands and fathers and brothers were genetically displaced continued to pass their maternal lineage forward. In the Basque country, the mitochondrial DNA preserves an even deeper layer of pre-Beaker Neolithic ancestry, the highest in Western Europe, because the Beaker men who seeded R1b into the Basque population mixed with local Basque women without triggering the kind of total population replacement that happened in Ireland. The male line converged, the female line diverged, and that sex-biased asymmetry is why the Basques and the Irish can carry the same dominant paternal haplogroup while looking genetically different in almost every other measure. Which brings us back to something that the genome was not the first to notice, because when I traced this connection backward, I found that the blood type data had already seen it coming 50 years before DNA sequencing existed. In the 1950s, physical anthropologists studying ABO blood type distributions across European populations noticed something that didn't fit the model. The Basque country and Ireland showed unusually concordant frequencies of blood type O and Rh negative blood. Both populations had markedly higher rates than their geographic neighbors. Both were statistical outliers in the same direction. G.W. Hargreaves documented the pattern formally in 1957. At the time, there was no mechanism available to explain it. The genetic tools to trace population history simply did not exist. The finding was noted and filed away as a curiosity. When ancient DNA arrived and the Beaker story became measurable, the blood type data was not surprising in retrospect. It was the same signal the genome would later confirm, expressing itself through the one phenotypic window that mid-century science could observe. The blood type data was watching the Beaker migration's consequences for 50 years before anyone could name what they were looking at. And here's where the story goes somewhere I did not expect. Because the Basque language is not just a cultural coincidence sitting alongside this genetic evidence. It is the same evidence expressed in a different medium. The Basque language is the only surviving pre-Indo-European language in Western Europe. Euskera has no known relatives. Linguists have studied it for 2 centuries and found no connection to any language family on Earth. The Indo-European languages that replaced the pre-existing languages of Neolithic Europe spread with the same migrations that spread R1b. But in the Basque country, while R1b entered through the Beaker male lineage, the language that was already there, the language of the Neolithic farmers, the language those Beaker men's wives and mothers spoke, survived. The genome kept the male Beaker signal. The linguistic record kept the female Neolithic signal. The Basques are, simultaneously, genetically convergent with the Irish through their shared Beaker paternal lineage and linguistically continuous with the pre-Beaker Neolithic world that Ireland has entirely lost. They are the only population in Western Europe carrying both. But the next part is the one that I keep returning to, because it asks a question that genetics alone cannot answer. The people who built Newgrange are gone from the Irish genome. The monument they built is still there. Newgrange, in the Boyne Valley of County Meath, was constructed approximately 3,200 years before the Common Era, before the Beaker replacement, before the genetic event that would displace nearly everyone connected to it. The builders were Neolithic farmers. Their monument is oriented precisely to capture the winter solstice sunrise, a feat of astronomical alignment and engineering that remained one of the most sophisticated structures in the world for over 1,000 years after its construction. When the Beaker migration arrived in Ireland, within a few generations, the Y-chromosome lineages of those builders were displaced by the incoming male population. The women who descended from the builders continued to pass their maternal lines forward, but the paternal biological connection to Newgrange's architects was effectively severed. The monument has outlasted its builders by 5,000 years. The stone remembers what the genome has nearly forgotten. In the Basque country, no single monument holds this role, but the language does, and that parallel is the specific irony that the genetics makes precise. Euskera is the living linguistic monument of the Neolithic world. The Beaker migration erased everywhere else on the Atlantic coast. Every time a Basque speaker uses a word with no Indo-European root, and nearly every word in Euskera has no Indo-European root, they are using a sound that would have been intelligible to the people who built Newgrange, not a translation, not a loanword, a direct descendant of the same linguistic tradition, preserved inside a population that the Bronze Age reshaped genetically, but not culturally. The Irish lost the language and nearly lost the biology. The Basques kept the language and partially kept the biology. Both populations carry the same paternal lineage of the men who arrived and changed everything. The cul-de-sac and the highway were the same geography. One side preserved what the other side sent north, and the genetic record running between them has been waiting 4,500 years to be read in the same sentence. This story is not about two marginal populations on the edges of Europe sharing an obscure genetic signal. It is about what Western Europe looked like before the Bronze Age migration that built it, and what was preserved and lost in that building. The Beaker corridor along the Atlantic coast is the founding genetic event of modern Ireland, modern Britain, modern Iberia. Every person in those populations today is, in some measurable proportion, descended from the people who moved through it. The Irish and the Basques are the two populations where the evidence of that event is clearest, sharpest, and most asymmetric. The Irish show what total replacement looks like, an entirely new male lineage, a monument built by people with no living paternal descendants, a language that did not survive. The Basques show what absorption looks like, the same male lineage entering without erasing, the older language continuing, the deeper Neolithic female ancestry preserved at higher frequency than anywhere else in Europe. The same Bronze Age event. Two different outcomes, one genetic signature connecting them both. There is a specific number that I keep returning to when I think about what this means at the human scale. Approximately 90%. That is the proportion of British Neolithic ancestry that disappeared within a few generations of the Beaker arrival. Not diluted over centuries, not gradually absorbed. Gone within the span of what geneticists estimate as 2 to 4 generations. The people whose great-grandparents built Newgrange did not have great-grandchildren who looked like them genetically. The speed of that replacement is one of the most striking findings in all of ancient DNA research, and Ireland is the most extreme, documented case in Europe. That the Irish today carry the genetic signature of the people who caused that replacement, and that the Basques carry the same signature as the origin point of that same migration, is the connection that closes the loop. Ireland is a country where the dominant male lineage traces back to Bronze Age Iberia. The Basque country is where that lineage was seated before it moved north. The Bay of Biscay between them is the road those men traveled. And the reason both populations ended up with the same Y-chromosome at the same extraordinary frequency is that one population was the source of the migration and absorbed it from within, while the other was the destination of the migration and was almost entirely replaced by it. If you carry Irish ancestry, your dominant male line traces not to Celtic warriors arriving from Central Europe, but to Bronze Age men who left Iberia 4,500 years ago and crossed the Bay of Biscay. If you carry Basque ancestry, your dominant male line shares its origin with those same men, and your language is the only surviving record of what those men's wives and mothers spoke before anyone called the people who arrived Beaker. The monument at Newgrange is still there. The glacier that shaped the Atlantic coast is still visible in the gene frequencies of everyone who lives along it. The Beaker corridor is still readable in the genome of every person from Lisbon to Dublin. The Bronze Age is not finished. The further back you look in this genome, the more the distances collapse. Thanks for watching.